Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun live. And thank you very much for joining me, brethren. Now, if you have read the caption of this broadcast, even though it is not much, try and read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today, which is Mayegun, is live. And if you have done that already, a big thank you to you. So to those who are going to be joining us later, remember, this is the ritual, okay? Like the broadcast first, share it after, and then sit back, relax, and enjoy the charts. So tonight, I want to use our Sunday sermon to please, kindly touch some nerves, okay, and possibly touch some hearts too, and give us a bit of a sober reflection. Yeah, especially if you are a Yoruba watching me this hour. It will do you a great deal of good if you possibly listen with an open mind. I can't guarantee how you are going to handle the message. But one thing I am very sure of is that it will leave you, or you will leave this platform or this program this hour as a different person. It's either you are going to get mad, very mad at me, or you are going to be filled with appreciation that Mayegun, thank you so much for actually discussing this tonight. But before we delve into it fully, it is ideal to kind of give us a bit of a caveat. That is why, if you are new on Mayegun's Diary Political, the ideal thing is to remind you that Sunday sermon on Mayegun's Diary Political is a no holds bar session. No holds bar in the sense that if you don't really have a kind of like a thick skin, you are likely going to take offense in some of what you are going to hear, even though you may disagree with some of them, which is also allowed. I'm talking about really get mad, right? Because the truth is likely going to hurt you more than you are you've ever bargained for. But if you are not new on Mayegun's Diary Political, definitely, Sunday sermon is always a sermon that a lot of people always want us to be having every week, if we can. So tonight, we are going to touch on a lot of concerning issues in Yoruba land. Some of these that has sort of gotten people talking. It's got a lot of people talking, and in some cases, a lot of people have actually given up. Now, talking about it doesn't mean that it is going to be fixed right away, but somehow we do strongly believe that a problem shared is a problem solved. And as Yoruba will say, a kì í fi ọwọ́ tó ń dunni, a kì í fi sábẹ́ aṣọ, which means, a sore hand must not be hidden under the cloth. You have to show it out so that, you can probably get it, fixed, kind of. So, Sunday sermon, like I said, is a no holds bar. And it is what the Yoruba call the pẹ̀tẹ̀pẹ̀tẹ̀. Pẹ̀tẹ̀pẹ̀tẹ̀ tí a nà ní pọ̀pá, ẹni tó bá ti tabá, sometimes a lè sọ pé kó má fi ṣèbínú, but tó bá fẹ́ fi ṣèbínú, o lè fi ṣèbínú kó get mad. That's your problem. But we usually say pẹ̀tẹ̀pẹ̀tẹ̀ tí a nà ní pọ̀pá ni, ẹni tó bá ti tabá, kó má fi ṣèbínú, kó try, kó fix ibẹ̀ yẹn ni, kó lọ tún ibẹ̀ ṣe. So what that simply means is that the truth may be hard, all right, to take in, especially those of our people who want to be politically correct, those ones who are hiding behind politics. Because a lot of us identify the damages that politics has done to our people, politics have done to our people, especially to our own supposed culture, tradition, indeed, in Yoruba land. And there is this fake belief, which is nonsense. When they tell you that Omoluabi, now Omoluabi is quite not a nonsense, so to say, but I'm talking about those who have abused it. Being Omoluabi means a gentleman, a properly raised gentleman, which means that as Yorubas, we respect elders a lot. But there are differences, okay? That somebody is old, right? Doesn't make them elders. Because even in Yoruba land, we have the Agbalagbas, the elders, right? We also have the Agbayas, the useless elders. It's also in Yoruba land. So unfortunately, unfortunately, those of us that were raised to respect elders, we have grown now to realize that, you see, foolish people also grow old. Criminals also grow old. And that doesn't mean that there must be accorded the same respect that is due for responsible elders. So therefore, Omoluabi, that these politically correct miscreants, especially in Yoruba land, always want to use in blackmailing us. Are you not a Yoruba? You should not be talking like that, even if the situation is that bad, right? You shouldn't, as a Yoruba man, you should. We should not be, spreading our dirty linen, like washing our dirty linens in public. Okay, we should keep it inside. Now, Ogedembaje, a banana is becoming rotten. But they are telling us that, no, it is just ripening. That is also a Yoruba sort of a saying. Now, our culture, tradition, I'm a Yoruba man, and I want to believe that our culture, our tradition is the best in the world. You can say the same for yours, okay? There is no competition here, all right? Because we were raised, that's why I told people a few times back, I said, if we are being serious, Yoruba, right? Yoruba culture and tradition should actually be like a religion, philosophically it should be, because as Yorubas, we have the ways of life, and everything seems to have been so kind of like perfected. But as Yorubas says as well, that Iletuban Toro, a house, a house that is peaceful, right? It's simply because the bastards in the house are yet to grow up. That is also one thing. And why am I saying all of this to you? Because those of you who are Yorubas who are going to possibly watch this video, some of you have become so compromised by all the happenings, different happenings, in Yoruba land, different actors who have decided to sabotage, compromise the culture and the tradition of that beautiful land. Keep us divided using politics and religion. These are the two things they've used a lot. The other one that is not much pronounced is poverty. They've also used poverty enough to get our people to ignore culture and tradition. You know what I mean? Like they will say, those who are the actors behind the desecration and the destruction of the Yoruba value, the Yoruba culture, the Yoruba tradition, right? They will tell you that, oh, Baba, if you leave culture, leave tradition, olowo lagba, olowo legbon, which means forget about culture and tradition, forget about those things. A person will get money, is the elder. If you don't have any money, just keep your mouth shut. You have no opinion. That is on Yoruba. Unfortunately, it is what we have today. To the point that when you now walk around, those who were supposed to be, patriotic to the Yoruba cause, like Awolowo did, God rest his soul, God bless his soul as well, right? He happened to be one Yoruba man among many, because he wasn't alone. There were other Yorubas from across Yoruba land, right? They were able to team up with him in championing the vision, the supposed, mission, vision that he had for Yoruba land to materialize. Well, you see, today, we do not have such commitment from these characters anymore. We do not have such patriotism from different characters who are supposed to be the elders. Yoruba bo, Yoruba ni agba okin wa loja, kori omo tutun wo. What that simply means is that, an elder will not be in the market and watch an infant's head, right? How do I put that? Kori omo tutun wo, bend. You get what I mean now? Because the role of the elder is that the older you become, the more experienced you become. And you see that experience in life is an invaluable asset that when they say, this particular community has lost it, they will say, what about the elders there? Because their reasons for living long is to guide the younger ones, show them the right way of doing things, of keeping, morality, normality in check and all that stuff, right? And then they're doing away with all the bad behaviors. But what do you do? What do you say when those who are supposed to guide us are the ones who are actually leading us astray? When those who are supposed to use their own wealth of experience, right, to guide the younger ones in doing what is right, in preserving the culture and the tradition of the people, are the ones, right, who are desecrating it, compromising it for their selfish interest. This is what we have come to have to deal with in Yoruba land today. The other day, Obasanjo came out and said his Nigerianness is bigger than his Yorubaness. So we are proud to kind of like call him Omo Yoruba, no matter how anybody wants to feel about it, right? They want to pretend that they are loyal to Nigeria, a contraption where we are forced in, and then in the process suck every value that Yoruba has actually owed dear, suck it away, and we are now, all those are now replaced with fundamentalism, with extremism, with, selfishness, greed, all the backward things that never really progresses the people, right? So the value of education, the value of, of culture, of tradition have been eroded by those who are supposed to preserve them, by those who are supposed to kind of like, nurture them in such a way that the coming generation, the younger generation, can have something of value to hold on to. Today, in Yoruba land, I'm speaking about Yoruba land now because, yeah, you can possibly tell me that it's the same almost everywhere. But when I was growing up, it wasn't this. And I'm not like an old man. You get that? I'm not an old man to say, maybe because I am now in my 60s, I'm talking about olden days. No, this is not olden days. As rotten as that contraption has always been, this is the worst stage we have been. And why? Because in the last 25 years, Yoruba land has been saddled with selfish individuals, including those who are supposed to hold on to our traditional tools, the royal fathers, right? Everything got so politicized, everything got so compromised, bastardized, that it just became something like people just kind of like just normalize. And these values have been so destroyed, so kind of like it's now more concerning. So this is why we want to touch on that this evening, right? I am a very proud Yoruba man, and I don't really care how anyone sees the Yorubas. I am coming from a very rich heritage, a very, very rich, tradition and culture, the one that has traveled all over the world, copied, emulated by different other ethnic nationalities all over the world, trying to be, at least partly Yorubas. And we are proud of that. But back home, where millions of our people have now become entrapped in state-sponsored, poverty, fundamentalism, like, extremism, where religion is now, some people are now pushing, religion over the culture and the tradition. I mean, they are like rubbishing it. They are saying it openly. Now we are now crowning criminals as kings in Yoruba land who don't give a damn about that same, that same culturally enriched, tradition. So to say, the last few days, if not last few weeks now, from the end of last year, right? A lot of us have watched with so much a shock of what is now playing out, especially in Yoruba land, where some individuals who are speaking Yorubas, people where they speak Yoruba fluently, like they are from the the real Yoruba land, right? And they are kind of like undermining this rich heritage enough that they are telling us that their religion is so more important than their own nationality, in such a way that they are doing everything to not only to deny it, but to actually like destroy it. We are watching and then seeing all of this play out. And the usual reaction is, how did we get here? The last 25 years, to cut it short, the last 25 years of this pseudo-democracy in Nigeria has left our people poorer. It has left our people, right, pretty much like without a proper real education. It has left our people more backward. Rather, we have now become people of no real value per se. Just do whatever you can to make money, no shame. Younger people have no leaders to look up to. Have you noticed that? We do not have any leaders anymore in Yoruba land to actually look up to and say, okay, I mean, I'm raising my kids to be like, or I'm raising my kids to be like that. You know what I mean? I'm raising them to be the proper Yoruba or Moluabi who values hard work, that hard work actually pays. Today, those who are working, who kind of still find time to work hard, are now living as paupers in a land that's supposed to be flowing with milk and honey, as they usually say. Now, people, it's now a land where they say, just do whatever you can. Like, nobody cares how you make it anymore. Just do whatever you can. We have a process, for example, to become an Oba in Yoruba land. Yeah? To become an Oba in Yoruba land, we have a process of, the kingmakers, for example, who also themselves have to, they have to kind of like carry themselves with so much responsibility and then, integrity, enough that they know that they are carrying the weight of, of the people, millions of people. If they should ever compromise the process of choosing a king in Yoruba land, there will be consequences. But people don't care about consequences anymore. The last 25 years, oracles no longer chooses our kings. Morality, integrity. You see, even if we want to say that we don't want to, which is is absurd for anybody to say they don't believe in the oracle, this or that, because I don't mean it's bullshit, right? But there are other factors that you have to look into before anyone is made a king. And that is why when you see houses that are called the royal houses in Yoruba land, they tend to they tend to raise responsible gentlemen, responsible children, like responsible children to become responsible gentlemen. Like it's like raising leaders. So if you are a ruling house in Yoruba land, for example, and you know that this child is a potential king as a prince, so first and first, they have to be very careful of the type of education they get, the kind of training they get. They raise them in studying their tradition, their culture, their history. Do you understand? Like as a prince in Yoruba land, you will be trained. Your proper education is not just this Western education. Your education starts from you understanding who you are, understanding the responsibility that is going to fall on your shoulder if for any reason, for any time, you are called upon to come and lead your people, right? This is the type of process, enough that whenever it is time to choose a king, there are always potential Omoyes Omoyes are those that are trained in the history of the land. Enough that you don't turn around and begin to shout at Jesus, Jesus, Abi Allah, Allah, over your own culture and your tradition, your own history. Now, those people will not get any respect for their own rich history. They will turn around and tell you that now Jesus made them king. Now Allah made them king. They begin to utter absolute trash and nonsense, and they are getting away with it. You will see a king in Yoruba land kneeling down before a pastorpreneur, a pulpit bandit. You will see a king in Yoruba land rubbishing the entire history of his own forebearers, his own ancestors. No consequences. Simply because, yeah, as usual, everything is so corrupt. Everything corruption touches, it destroys. Corruption touches your tradition, it destroys it. It touches your culture, it destroys it. It touches your value system, it destroys it. Now we have a bunch of criminals, right, representing this rich culture and tradition. And then they will look and say, about our culture, if you forget that, forget what? So the process has become so compromised that rather than have the custodian of the value of Yoruba land, what we now have are political obas. Political obas, just like you have your judiciary so compromised by the political criminals. And today, justice is for the highest bidder, justice for sale. That's exactly what we have now experienced. Like, it was supposed to be, when I was growing up, right, being a royal father, I witnessed the installation of a king in my hometown. When we had to kind of like go visit the king, the soon to be crowned king, in a place called Ikwebi. Ikwebi is a place where they take a prince to, a soon to be crowned king, where all the normal, teachings, the rituals, the sacrifices. Now, let's even put the sacrifices apart. You know, Ikwebi is a place where to become a king, right? Even if you are not properly trained by your family, it is a place you are going to stay for 21 days, for 3 weeks. And then this is a place where you will be taught about everything that has to do with this stool you are about to occupy, the importance of it, the do's and don'ts, stuff that will continue to remind you the responsibility before you, the responsibility that is now falling on your shoulder, and the reason why you can't fail. But look at us today. It is so painful enough that majority of this generation now, at least majority of this new generation or this younger generation, they are never, ever going to experience this value system. Today, education in Yoruba land is almost like a waste of time. They used to tell us that if you want to be out of poverty, for example, your only easy way